Hi, this is video 2 on independent events. We are continuing our discussion on trying to find how to determine if two events are independent or not. And we arrived at this formula in the previous video from conditional probability itself. So two events E and F are said to be independent if and only if the probability of E and F is a multiplication of the probability of E and probability of F. Now using this, let's solve this problem, right? Consider a random 3-bit string. Are the events E and F independent? So essentially, whether this is asking us whether this is true or not, right? So I know that E is the string contains at least event E is the string that contains at least 1 1 and at least 1 0, right? F is the event that the string contains at most 1 0. Okay, so we know that. Now, what we want to do is let's determine probability of E, probability of F, and probability of E and F. And then let's find out if these events are independent or not, right? Okay, so what is my sample space? It's 8, it's a 3-bit string, so we know 2 cube, right? Okay, what is my E? The string contains at least 1 1 and at least 1 0, right? Now, in this situation, it's, I think, easier to find out what is E bar, which means what is not in E. So the strings that are not in E are 1, 1, 1 and 0, 0, 0. Because we are looking at the string that contains at least 1, 1 and at least 1, 0. So both have to coexist, right? So I know what is not in E bar. What is not in E, which is E bar, right? So 2 are not in E. That means the rest are in E, which is 6, right? So 8 minus 2 is 6. And I can determine the probability of E, which is 6 over 8, which is 3 over 4. Now let me find out the probability of F. The string contains at most 1 0. Now 2 ways of finding it out. I can actually go and enumerate it. So I know that that 0 can take 3 different places. So there are 3 of those strings, right? So 0 could come here, 3 choose 1, right? Or here, which is, there are 3 such strings, right? And in addition, there is this string where there is no 0, right? So at most 1 0 or less than that. So there is one more. So there are 4 of them, right? So essentially, let me write down the cardinality is 4. And so the probability would be 4 over 8, which is 1 over 2. Okay. Now, what is E and F? Because I also need to determine the probability of E and F. Right, so to find the cardinality of E and F, I need to find out that my string has at least 1 1 and at most 1 0, right? That's the overlap, right? And so the cardinality of those strings at least 1 1 and at most 1 0 is going to be how many? 3 choose 1, right? So at least 1 1 and at most 1 0. So I'll just like discard the one that doesn't have like ones and zeros essentially out of what I figured for F, right? So that's going to be 3. And so I know the probability of E and F is going to be 3 over 8, right? So let me determine what is probability of E times the probability of F. So that's 3 over 4 times 1 over 2, which is 3 over 8. So yes, I can see that probability of E and F is equal to the probability of E times the probability of F. Right? So I can say that yes, E and F are independent. Right? So we talked about independence of two events. In the next video, I'll talk about independence of more than two events and how to deal with problems related to independence of more than two events.